Okay, so the trial starts, but leading up to the trial, and you've touched on this, ASAP Relli claims to be the victim. He claims he got shot in his knuckles, which already sounded like
how he survived
BS.
that life-threatening injury. It's a miracle. I don't even know how those 2 knuckle scrapes, how he didn't bleed out right on the scene, but somehow he didn't. He survived it. It was amazing. It's a miracle.
Well, and look, a lot of people have cooperated on people. Like that's not a rarity in this world. But Relli not only cooperated, but he actually went back to the crime scene on his own and found some bullets he claimed were the bullets from the discharge of the gun, which, like you said, 7 cops could not find.
The exact same spot that he found.
Yeah, and that seemed crazy to me as well.
And then when you understand who Relli was, I mean, he was a witness that, as I told this jury in my summation, ladies and gentlemen, you had a front row seat to the worst witness in American jurisprudence history. I mean, I bludgeoned him. And honestly, one of my kids who have no training in the law could have done the same thing. He was an easy witness to tear apart. He perjured himself. He admitted perjuring himself. He got caught in one lie after the next. I mean, to the point where the jury stopped looking at him. At one point, when the jury stops looking at the witness, it's over. But one thing he lied about was, before November 6, 2021, had you ever shot a gun, sir? No, I didn't have my license. So you never shot a gun. How about, did you ever shoot a 9mm like Glock, semi-automatic? No. Okay. All right, let me just narrow this down to make sure we're on the same page. Before November 6, 2021, have you ever shot a semi-automatic gun at a shooting range? He goes, no. I said, no? And he got all belligerent and arrogant like he did throughout the whole testimony. He goes, you heard me? No. I go, I heard you. No. Okay. How about this? Play a video of him in the shooting range on October 19, 2021. Boom, 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 boom. The prosecutor, now you see in the back of the guy, prosecutor, it was like it was choreographed perfectly. The prosecutor goes, how do we know that's him? In front of the jury, inappropriately. And at that moment, Relli goes, shoom. It was like, thank you, Relli. It was like the jurors started actually laughing because he happened to turn around the video at that second. And then you see these shell casings popping back over his shoulder. 9mm shell casings. October 19th before November 6th. 3 weeks before. I said, you just told this jury you never fired a gun before November 6th, let alone a 9mm. Then he goes, a 9mm semi-automatic Glock. Then he goes, I said, except at a shooting range. I go, were you here 43 seconds ago when you just said absolutely not? He's like, I didn't say that. I said at a shooting range. I'm like, you think so, huh? I played, the beauty of this thing being on television is I get to play back his answer. Then I said, well, where was the shooting range? Because, what the prosecutor was going to argue was that was in New York or New Jersey. And even if he did do that, so what? Because he had to fly back commercially to Los Angeles and he can't carry shell casings on a plane. So it doesn't really amount to a hill of beans. I was like, really, where was that shooting range? And he said, I don't know where. I think New Jersey. And the prosecutor, again, completely inappropriately stands up in the middle of that, says, can we have a stipulation that shooting range is not in California? And I go to him, how would I know where it is? I'm not stipulating to that. And so the witness, but that was the key to the witness. The witness then jumps in and says, all I know is that was not in Los Angeles or California. I was like, oh, okay. Then now you know that, right? I said, okay. That was it. But it was bad enough evidence that he lied about shooting. That was a Friday. I wasn't done with the cross. My son, Chris, who works for the Florida Panthers as a data analytics manager, has zero legal training. He was obsessed with this case. He went on the internet and looked at every gun range in Los Angeles. And he watched videos of every gun range. He went on the websites. The Los Angeles Downtown Gun Club, which is about a 12-minute walk from the courthouse, has a shooting range, and it's the exact same shooting range that this guy Relli was shooting that gun in. You could see the way the infrastructure is, the way the targets are, the numbering above the targets. He said, Dad, that range was in LA that he was shooting. I'm like, Chris, how do you know that? He goes, look. And he sent me a video. I'm like, okay, be back. I took a car, I drove, every red light I went through. I was going about 95 in LA. I went to that gun range. And I said, see this video? Is this your place? The guy's like, yes. I was like, wow, thank you. Soon enough, when I got back, and I was my trial team, I was like, guys, meeting immediately. This was Saturday. All we did was work. I said, we are going to destroy this guy now. He lied. He perjured himself again, but about something really important. That was in LA, that gun range. So he had access to those shell casings, and there was no evidence that he ever left LA. Someone posted on the internet, everyone has the internet access now. I think it was on X or something like that, but some person who I have no idea who it is posted a picture of the LA Gun Club, and it wasn't my son, it was somebody independent because I didn't want to bust it out. I didn't want him to get a heads up. And the picture of the video of Relli. And they said, why would Relli lie about that? It's the same club. And they tagged Relli, tagged Rocky, tagged me. I'm like, oh shit, he knows now. This is at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. 2:10, Relli calls the district attorney's office because we got this on Discovery. And he said, oh, I was going through my phone because I want to make sure all my testimony was accurate. I was going through my phone and I realized I think that gun club was in Los Angeles. It's literally 10 minutes after he's tagged on the post that came out. He knew what was happening about that. So Monday morning was a fun morning for me, Vlad. It was a really fun morning. I go, hey, let's talk about the gun club. You sat here and told the jury you knew it wasn't LA, maybe New York, New Jersey. How about now? He's like, well, I went through my phone, and he tells the prosecutor, I went through my phone and I realized, oh, that was in Los Angeles. I go, is that what happened? You just went through your phone because you didn't want to be wrong in your testimony? How about your other testimony? Did you correct any of that? The part where you said you invested money in a big real estate venture in Miami in a building, but you don't remember how much you invested or in what building it was? Did you go figure that one out yet in your phone? No. This one you figured out, right? I go, it had nothing to do with the fact that at 2:00 you were notified via Instagram being tagged that this gun club was the same one in LA that's them on the video, right? It had nothing to do with that. He's like, no. I said, and coincidentally, you called the district attorney 10 minutes later, right? Some of the jurors were laughing, literally. That was the end of him.
Well, yeah, you called him an absolute pathological liar.
And I was being kind, Vlad. I was being kind because I didn't want to curse in court or anything, but that was...